Hello good people. This is part 2 of my cell block videos. If you haven't already, please go check out part 1. We're just going to fast forward through this portion of it since I covered on part 1 where I'm just basically pressing out more cell blocks to fill my tray. Okay, so you can see that I ran out of the mixture. I use, again, 3 cups of worm castings, 2 cups of perlite, 2 cups of coconut coir, and that made me almost half of a tray. So probably just want to double that the recipe up, so it would be 6, 4, and 4. So 6 cups of worm castings, 4 cups of perlite or vermiculite, and 4 cups of coconut coir. All right, I'll finish this up, show you the end results. Okay, and so there we have it. We got a tray full of soil blocks. You can see there's 2 leftover pieces at the end. I didn't evenly divide by 4, but that's okay, it's not gonna cause any problems. All right, and so the seeds that we're gonna be planting in these soil blocks, I'm gonna be doing different types of my favorite tomatoes. Yeah, I got a late start, but I'm in Georgia, so it's gonna stay hot for a while. It actually hasn't really gotten hot yet, so I think I still have time. So those are my four different categories of tomatoes as I have them stored, excuse me. And then also I'm going to be sowing some of my children's favorite, which are golden berries. I'll go over this and the tomatoes along with how I store everything in a later video in the future. Okay, so these are the specific 10 seed types I'm planting. I'll just go in order. This is a ground cherry or a golden berry. The variety is Aunt Molly's. We've got, they call it here a Cape gooseberry, but it's the same type of thing. The name isn't shown. I'm gonna go and do that. This is called an Amana orange. This is my family's favorite type of tomato. My son, who doesn't really eat tomatoes, asks specifically for these each year. I would highly recommend. You see that I've got most of them clipped up because I've used them before. This is another popular one. This is Brad's Atomic Grape Tomato, and you can kind of see on here the colors look pretty wild, and I can attest that the pictures are accurate and they taste good, kind of sweet. Next we have a Carbon tomato. Grown this once. I only got like 1 taste out of it. The birds attacked it, which I guess kind of tells me something. It must be really good if they went specifically for this tomato. The one I had was exceptional, so I'm going to plant them again this year. Hopefully I'll get more than 1 or 2. This is called the Black Krim. I've heard a lot of good things about it, so I'm interested in seeing how it fares and how the tomatoes taste. This tomato type is called a pineapple. I remember this being very good, almost as good as our favorite, the Amana orange that I showed you earlier. This one is the Emerald Evergreen. It's actually green when it ripens. It stays green the entire time, which makes it kind of difficult to tell when it's actually ripe. You just kind of gotta feel it. But yeah, it stays green, and it's pretty large and tastes great. This one is called the Principe Borghese. Please forgive my pronunciation if that's wrong, but you can see the spelling on here. This tomato is supposed to be really good when you sun dry them. I have grown them before, haven't got a chance to sun dry any of them, but hopefully this year is my year. I do have a dehydrator, so I'll be trying to put them to use this year. Wish me luck. Finally, we've got what they call Barry's Crazy Cherry. Haven't grown this one yet, but I've read some of the reviews on it on Baker Creek. So it's got really good reviews, and they say that it puts out a ton of tomatoes that are very sweet. So wish me luck on this one. I'll be trying to grow them as seen on picture. All right, so there we have it. These are all the seeds we're gonna do. Okay, so as you can see, I have a shallow bowl of just plain water. And I've got a saucer that I've shaken out a few of my first batch of seeds onto. And so I also have just a regular pencil. You can use any kind of utensil that kind of comes to a point. Like a wooden skewer would work also, but I just had a pencil on hand, so that's what I'm using. And so what you would do is you would just wet the tip of the pencil, and then you would, I'm going to show you what I'm doing. Just take the pencil tip and just touch the tomato seed, in this case, a small seed, and it'll stick to the tip of your pencil. Then you just take the pencil tip. You could rake it off with your finger if you want to, or you could just stick it in there and just rub it against the inner wall of the little hole in the block, and it'll come off in there. And that's it. You just rinse and repeat. So I'll do that one more time. I'm gonna put 2 seeds per block. And there we go. We got 2 in there. And then I would just go across the entire row with the same type of seed. And from there, I would use some of my leftover damp soil blocking mix that I had. You just pick it up with your hand. I don't care about my hands being dirty. So I would just grab some like so, just drop it on top. Then you can just pat it down to where it's even. And there we go. Just rinse and repeat that across the entire tray. Okay, so we've got all the seed blocks capped off with a small layer of leftover soil block material. And our last step, or one of the last steps we're gonna do, is just water them in. And so you just do that real gently. If you don't have a watering can, you can just use a cup. Just be gentle with it. You don't want to wash off all the dirt that you just put on top. All right, that's all we needed. All right, and from there, you're going to do these soil blocks just like what I did to the sprouts on my first video. Take an extra tray and just put it over the top, like so. Now, it is pretty warm outside nowadays, so I could just leave it here on the table, and we should get some sprouts within a few days. Now, if it's cooler outside, what you might want to do is put them on a heating mat, excuse me. put them on a heating mat with this cover on there. And again, you should get sprouts within a few days. Once they're sprouted, you can take the top tray off, put them in some sun. You just want to be sure to water every like 2 to 3 days as needed. And that's it. I forgot to mention, there's one other thing I would add to all of this. You might have noticed in the video where I was mixing up the materials and trying to make the soil blocks in the pot. That was actually fairly difficult. If my memory serves me correctly, originally when I used to make these a few years ago, I had a very flat container to mix it up and press them up in. It was a lot easier that way. You can find, just like a little flat storage container that's fairly shallow. You can find something like that at Home Depot or Lowe's or any big box store. I'll probably be doing the same in the future to make things a little easier for myself. But I thought I'd just like to share that info. Take care.